Welcome back to another video slash behind the scenes. So for this, basically you have, I don't really know the terms of how we're supposed to kind of like do this or whatever, but basically we're not really supposed to post like this stuff on our channel, as far as like just video content, just the terms of our agreement. So basically, we've done some parodies for Unspeakable Gaming, at least two so far in the past, and again, we don't really speak on them, so there's really no way my YouTube audience would really know, unless you came from there. So basically, me and TSS kind of did this animation, um, where basically Unspeakable's like farming and stuff, and it came out really nice. And basically, I kind of want to kind of like go over like how he did it and just some scenes so you can understand kind of like the process through it for any animators who are wondering how he did certain things. Um, so really quickly, I'm just gonna go slightly through it, and then I'm gonna go to the animation so you can kind of see. And there is like some stuff at the end that I'll be able to tell you about. I'll be able to talk about like how like certain things were supposed to be different, and so yeah, stuff like this and some of the troubles that we had in it. So basically this is the first scene, or not the first scene, let me take that back. Basically this is the first scene where we have the fire. You can see there's a whole bunch of different lights, and we had turbulence FD here. And we also have these raindrops. Now, I found this really cool, I don't know. Yeah, I found this really cool plugin called Easy Rain version 2. You can download it. It's like costs like $8 or something, but if you get it or whatever, it generates this simple thing where you just add like whatever you're gonna hit or whatever it's going to splash on. So here you can see I have all these different colliders. So basically you have the grass, you have the stone, you have, I think I have unspeakable on this or something like that. You have all these different things that these rain particles are going to kind of collide with, and when it drops or when the rain splatters, um, I don't even know if I can play this because it's so laggy. But when the drain, here we go. Here's a good example. When the rain hits here, you can see that it automatically kind of like disperses and make like more like a splatter over. So I'm gonna delete this just for so the way it's easier to like scrub through. But basically, you have them kind of like you have this big giant fire, and it's trying to insinuate that, oh no, his house is on fire, and he's looking at it from afar. Um, we didn't really have as much story to this as we did with some of our other stuff, but we did have a script for this, pretty much the same process I explained in the other two videos, or the other videos that I'm going to put out and that I put out before this. But basically, he kind of like just like looks at his house from afar and is like, oh no, what's going on? And then he hears an explosion and he ducks down or whatever, and you see this axe kind of like come towards him and chop off his arm, and his arm just goes splat on the ground, and it's pretty crazy. And then you kind of get this really cool, this was Blend's idea, he wanted to kind of do a first person view where he just falls flat in the ground like that. And that's what you can kind of see in the beginning or whatever, where you have this, he kind of like looks back like this, you have all the rain, arm on the ground, and splat, he's dead. Not really. So you have that, and he goes flat, and then you have this first scene. A lot of the first few scenes are pretty the same, so I'm not really gonna go too much into detail of those. But you'll see that it's a really, if I zoom out here, it's a really decent sized scene. So you can see I really like importing like large maps. I don't know why, but this is how large the map was. Again, you don't really use all this over here, but I don't know. I don't really care. If you can do it, you can do it. Basically, what else should I do? What else should I say? We had wheat. Wheat was like the hardest thing because like when you're placing those objects, you have to like physically turn them off and on, and there's really no way to get around that. So basically, it's just him like looking out the window and stuff, and he has his arm. Blinn thought it was pretty cool to animate a character with like a wooden arm just because it was different. He hated the fact that it was like that it was so different because imagine animating a character that you're usually used to animating both arms, but then you have to kind of like figure out how they're gonna do stuff with only just one arm. So it was different. Another cool scene I really liked. Of course, I liked all these scenes, but another scene I liked is like I'm gonna go to like more of the action scenes. Like this scene was pretty cool. I have everything like neatly organized, so you can see we had about 20 scenes, maybe 21 scenes. And if I go here to fight, I always organize our scenes up so that way we don't get them lost and messed up. But basically here you can see this is one of them, not all of them. Basically here you can kind of see we have all the like zombies, and basically what we did here is we kind of like copied one and then like put them in different places, and then did that with the skeletons too. I think we like use some of the animation from the other one too. And I really like this jump. Blinn did an amazing job. I even told him, I was like, Blinn, this is amazing. Like this scene, this part right here, I absolutely love. I love this shot right here where you have this, you have the sky. The sky is mine because I'm amazing. Just kidding. I found this sky on Google Images, and it was just beautiful. I kind of like I turned up the saturation a little bit, and man, it just turned out really good. So you did that. You have like all the crops here, and then all of this, the yellow things, they're leaves coming from the wind. Oops, I mean to open up Google. Basically, I think you can see it. See, this came out really nice, really nice. I think the hardest thing for the scene was kind of like to remember what stage the crops are going to be in each stage, because you can see that in different stages of the video, if you kind of notice, they are growing at certain times. So it's like day one when he's like fighting the mobs or whatever, up until like the last scene, you have like more he's doing more farming and stuff, and time has passed. And in here you have more of this. You have all the beginning crops that he planted are all done, the side crops he planted, and basically what we did with this was just separate it into 5 different crop sections. And I used my block plugin, my remap plugin, to kind of make it so what it can do is basically it can copy one thing. So I had one wheat plugin that can grow up just like it has an expressor to grow, and it copies that to all the blocks, so all the faces of a particular thing. So if you like, I can actually go here and I can actually show you guys exactly how it works really quick for those that are wondering. And I do eventually want to make a little tutorial update so that way people know how to use my block map plugin. But basically here you can see, one second, I have to find it out exactly where it's at. Okay, so basically I have this wheat, right? So this is my own wheat plugin thing or whatever for crops. So basically if you use my remap plugins, you'll kind of know what this is. It's my own wheat. I keep on saying that like it's something. Or my own crop thing. So basically it already has the wheat, like what stage it's gonna be. So this is stage 1, and basically if you parent this to, I'm trying to think what I did here. I think I parented this to the different stages So let me back up so that way I'm not confusing everyone. And let me turn these off. Okay, so basically here you have your wheat, right? Your regular wheat that comes with your map. And basically what I did with that is I sectioned it into 5 different sections. So you have like 1 wheat, 4, 2, 1, 5, right? And then they turn on at certain times or whatever. So by just sectioning off certain things, I'm able to like map them, so I can just turn them all off right now, right? And then basically I can use those as like sections in order to put 3B wheat on. So basically all I have to do with this plant map thing is basically I can do that, no wheat, and then I can select whichever wheat I want, whichever like section I want, and it will automatically map it to there. Again, the old rigging self of mine was really smart with this stuff. I've kind of like lost my way with that, but basically, you can do that, and then you can add like random position, and this can kind of position everything differently, and stuff like that. So it was really useful in like the setup for this. And if you haven't used my remap plugins, I really advise that you go like check them out. They're free now. They don't cost anything anymore. You can go to selfie.com/tag animations. Quick little promo there just because, but everything on my selfie is free now, so I'm not really making money. So poor tag. um, so basically that happened, and that was really fun to do. And then again, I did do some of the animation, like the guts splurting out. So this is using Anishwig's blood splatter plugin, or not plugin, blood splatter thing. And basically every time they get sliced with the sword, basically I would just kind of like have that happen. So what happened here is basically, since I forget if because I had to animate some of this, so I forget if it like if that looked good. But at first we were gonna have a wheat here, but then I realized that that wouldn't make any sense, so I had to actually like take the wheat off. I forget if we had wheat. I don't think we had wheat there. So when he jumps up, I don't even remember when he jumps up. Oh, I think it's, no, this is the end. I don't even remember when he jumps up. Oh, he jumps up here. So, yeah, there's no wheat here, but it looks kind of decent. It kind of rushed there, but, again, I don't know how to animate all that well, so I didn't really care. And then he had his thing, and this was fun to animate, just like, boom, get out of my face. So that was pretty cool. This whole fight scene stuff was pretty nice. And so that's all unspeakable. Okay, so the end. Oh, this was beautiful, but it wasn't beautiful. So we had flashbacks and stuff. So basically here, it kind of, in the story, he starts like fighting mobs. Here it's basically showing it's a flashback, but it's really hard to understand how he did this. A lot like Capsize and stuff, where we weren't really that great on doing flashbacks yet, but we're still getting in the process of doing those and learning how to make those better and more visible for people to actually understand. So basically, you have like the creeper exploding, and then it switches to this. Could have done that a lot better, but basically this kind of shows how the fire kind of started in the first place. Basically, a creeper blew up when he was trying to go outside, and it started a fire or whatever, and basically his wife was supposed to be inside. Never got to like show all of that, but it kind of makes sense. And in here near the end, you can see that after he's done, after he's done like fighting all the mobs and stuff, he sees a charged creeper, and that kind of like blows up right next to him. And it's really fast because rendering and stuff really messed us up on this. So basically, what happened was we were still using a render farm because we're not rich or anything right now. So we were using a render farm for this because my PC really sucked, and there's no way I could have done it without a render farm. And render farms cost a lot of money. Like I paid like $300 for capsized, and I think I paid like 200 or 300 for this. It was insane. But so these flashbacks were more noticeable. That was showing like how they met, how he met his wife or whatever, or when he first saw her, he really liked her and stuff. And then this is at the aftermath after the creeper, supercharged creeper explosion. I really like how I did the lighting on this, just because it looks really eerie. He's like in the middle, and Blend did an amazing job with the camera shots right here. And basically you have all this, but the rendering again was totally messed up. And basically you have this. So I want to do this in Cinema 4D and pick out those two scenes because I want you guys to listen to something. It's what I wanted to do, but since we were doing a parody, we weren't able to really go for that look, which kind of sucks. I don't know if it was this. Really quick. Okay, guys, so I am back, and I am back with the last and final scene of this animation that we did. And basically, this is him just in the wheat farm or field or whatever, and he's like sort of like dying, and he kind of like wakes up. And it's really, really dramatic where he kind of like looks at the farm, and this is where his wife is buried. So he kind of knows that he's dying, and he walks there. I'm gonna take the blood out of the. What's making this so laggy? I'm gonna take the lights out of the scene and stuff, all this stuff out of the scene, so we can just see like what's going on. And so basically he's like walking through. Delete all the blood. Just know that he's bleeding. And he's kind of like walking through this like death place. He knows he's gonna die. And he's just like walking through. And he kind of has his like last moments before he kind of just falls flat and dies. Like this. So I really wanted this dramatic feel, right? But there was no way to really get that because we were doing a parody, and the song in the parody sounds like really, it's sort of uplifting, and it's totally different from dramatic. But I want you to listen this for a couple, a tiny bit, and just kind of like listen to how it sounds to this song here. It says Game of Thrones Season 6 soundtrack, Light of the Seven. If you've heard, if you listen to Game of Thrones and stuff, you kind of know what this is, what this song is, but just listen to it for a second. I'm not going to put it too high, but... Okay, and then watch this. Just note that this is going slower than it's supposed to, just because everything. Actually, you know what? I know I'm changing my stuff, but I don't want this like really laggy, so I'm gonna try to make it as not laggy as I can. I don't know what else is making all the lag. What is making all the lag? Gonna just randomly delete lights and stuff. Articles, grass, the sky. What else is lagging? I'm gonna keep that though. I'm gonna keep that on. I don't know if anything else is lagging. That's weird. It should be good now. Should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna play this again. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Instead of playing all frames. Oh, there we go. That's a lot better. No, autosave. Okay, so I'm gonna restart the song from the beginning and just listen to it. Now I want to go slow motion because it makes it's more dramatic. So I am gonna do it like this, but just watch. And he wakes up. Are you dead, my son? Wake up. Live. Your true nature is not to be on the floor. You have a wife, a child. See to them now. Come on. Get up. Your home is over there. It's time to rise. And it's just like this whole slow motion kind of dramatic feel that you can feel with this song. Just like, I wish I could have just like did a little clip of this. I still don't know if if I could. It would be cool just to go back and just do that, just so that way I have that on the channel. But this whole this music is beautiful for this. Oh, poor Unspeakable. I can't live anymore. It's over. It's done. Sarah, I love you. I've always loved you. Goodbye, cruel world. Goodbye. And there goes Unspeakable. And this shot panning up, this was totally inspired by the Game of Thrones. If people understand what this shot kind of, if you don't know, you have to watch Game of Thrones to understand. This shot. So basically that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for that whole kind of really dramatic thing, but maybe I'll still be able, in the future, I'll still be able to render this out and just give it a different feel, maybe a different texture, something like that, so that way it doesn't infringe with Unspeakable's parody. But I still really, really, really love this. Yeah. I might have to ask Nathan to do that because that was awesome. So just let me know if you guys want a rendered version of this with that song, because I really think that would be amazing, and it would just like give another dynamic to the parody aside from like the really happy thing. So, but yeah, just let me know. So I think this concludes this episode of, or behind the scenes kind of video of that, and I hope you guys kind of like saw some things that maybe you didn't know or you didn't understand, or maybe I kind of like enlightened. I know the only thing I teached about was like my block map thing, but I'm just trying to make these kind of short so that way there's some reference of behind the scenes how everything was made. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.